All right, peace and love, black family. Who do I have here with me?
Loretta Pollock,
Loretta Pollock, and you are a Miami native, correct?
a Miami native.
Okay. So I just want to ask you a few questions about what we are here celebrating today and some of the history about Miami, right? So how far do you think have we came in the dream of Martin Luther King as a people?
Well, I would hate to say, but if he was here today, he would probably be crying.
Wow, that's a strong statement, and I can actually verify that statement. Now, do you know one of the reasons why we're in the condition that we're in as a people?
Yes. As a people, we do not work together. If we work together, we would not be in the boat we are in.
Now, who benefits from that? Because one thing we got to know is that in order to understand the problem, you got to see who benefits from the problem. So someone must be creating that division that we have amongst ourselves, right?
You know that's right.
All right, so let's get into a little history about Miami. She said, that's right. Are you familiar with the McDuffie riots?
Yes, I am.
Can you give me a little history on the McDuffie riots?
Yes, McDuffie riots came about because of some policemen like we have today. The same stuff that's happening today, beating up black men, was happening way back there. And it so unfortunately happened to McDuffie, who was riding a motorcycle at the time. Overtown, I believe it wasn't Overtown, it was on 41st Street and 17th Avenue it happened. And they tried to cover it up.
And they eventually killed this man, right?
Eventually they killed him. Right there on the spot.
And it was, for those who don't know, it was 4 Latin officers, 4 Spanish white officers, right? Now, one of the things that transpired after the McDuffie riot is that there was a gathered effort to destroy black unity in America, and not only in America, specifically in Miami. And the reason why is because the riot was perpetrated by Africans, us black people, right? And so what the city of Miami and other government officials did is that they started bringing in black immigrants to the country, especially to Miami. Because my parents, who are Haitian, came here as immigrants. And so what that did is that broke up the black connection as a people. We became disunified because so many different cultures and viewpoints came to Miami. Because we haven't had a riot like that since the McDuffie riots, if you actually notice.
Right. That's true.
Right.
But I never thought of it that way.
Yeah. They start bringing in the black Cubans, the darker Cubans, and they start mixing up the population. And so now if you go to Miami, there's really no real African Americans in Miami like that. You have Overtown, and that's like basically it. Overtown and maybe Liberty City. But everybody now is Haitian, Jamaican, Bahamian, and that was done by design to break up the black unity. Because the problem is, in the diaspora, we all have different experiences. You know what I'm saying? So someone might come from Haiti and might not see racism the way you see racism and have dealt with racism. So that's one of the things I want to share with you. Are you familiar with Yahweh Ben Yahweh?
Oh, yes. He had his headquarters on 62nd Street and 27th Avenue, a big warehouse. And he bought up a whole lot of property in that area, which was later taken by the federal government.
Correct. That's correct. They trumped up some charges on him and took that brother down because he was a strong force to be reckoned with in Miami. Now, the question I have for you, just a quick question before I let you go. How can we not only create another institution like Yahweh Ben Yahweh here in Miami and throughout the states? How can we rebuild? Because a lot of Haitian people, a lot of Jamaican people, they just come here as workers and they just want to work and build up. How can we rebuild that African-American pride, Haitian pride, Jamaican pride, and put it together to do for self?
Everybody need to get on their feet. We have the NAACP, we have the CORE, we have different empowerment groups. All we need to do is work with them. We have leadership, but with one person cannot do it by themselves.
Right.
So you need to get up off your ass and join one of the local organizations that empowers black.
Well, I thank you for your time, Queen. I appreciate it. You've been very enlightful, and I thank you very much. Anything you want to add before you go? Anything you want to say? Anything you want to promote?
I want to say, in August, everybody need to get out and vote. In November, you definitely need to get out and vote. But above all, please register.
Okay. Now, let me ask you a question. This is just a question. I'm not trying to be facetious or funny. What is voting going to do for us as African people? Because one of the things that I've learned is that voting has never helped us as a people, especially when the people in power control the system. Like, we didn't vote our way out of slavery, right? We didn't vote our way out of Jim Crow. We fought and organized our way out of those situations. So for me, and not to dishearten anything you say, voting to me is not going to be advantageous to us as a people. I think organization, strength, and economics will be more beneficial to because if we start shutting down some of these businesses, they're going to listen to us then. But voting, you know, I don't know, Queen.
Remember what happened in Alabama about a month ago?
Uh-huh.
We took a Republican seat. Well, we need to go back and we need to take some Republican seats so we can start working. Okay?
And even just throw a little history out there. I know I'm going long-winded. Throw a little history out there. In the 1800s, black people were the majority of Congress and mayors throughout the United States, and we were still oppressed because we never changed the fundamental power structure of it. We never changed. We just put, like Obama, we put a black face on white power. Obama was just a black man that carried out white initiatives. So again, just to add to that, voting and things like that, it's I can't even think of a word, but it's not advantageous to us, our growth as a people.
You got to remember that Obama, they blocked him from everything. He didn't get to do any work.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. But thank you for your time, Queen. I appreciate you. Love. Peace, peace, family. Who do I have here with me?
My name is Delbert Floyd.
Okay, and what is your ethnicity, sir?
I consider myself African-American.
African-American? Now, why is it that you don't consider yourself African?
Because I was born and raised here in America, and so were my parents and grandparents. So, you know, so they don't kick me out, I have to say American, you know, if I just say.
So they don't kick you out. Okay, I got you. Now, let me ask you a question. How far forward or backward do you think we came in Martin Luther King's dream?
Man, that's a hard question. I think we're actually going backwards now with this new administration and the people that are backing him and supporting him.
So you think that it's the administration that's the issue?
Yes, it is, because if it had been any other Republican candidate holding office, I think we'll be a little bit better off, not as bad.
So here's a question, not to be condescending, but just to, just to enlighten and open up the conversation. What about the Democrats and the Republicans since the end of slavery? Like, have they not been instrumental to black progress as well? I don't think it's just this administration.
They have, but my old cliche, you go to the lesser of the two evils, and I think on an average, blacks grow more under the Democrats than Republicans out there. We know the Democrats are racist too. In fact, they were the original racists, but we grow more. When you look at Clinton and what he did for a lot of black small businesses, the grants he gave out, the money, you won't see that under a Republican administration.
Now, Clinton was one of the presidents that passed some of the harshest drug laws on African people living here in America.
Well, when he did that at the time, he didn't realize that it was going to impact us that way. And that law itself, it's a law, but think about it. They still don't prosecute the whites like they prosecute us anyway. So he didn't know that the whole thing was just going to be that bad because of the way the prosecutors. So that's the main thing, is the prosecutors.
Are you familiar with a phrase, racism, white supremacy?
I really haven't heard that phrase that way.
All right, so there's a queen ancestor that she's passed. Her name is Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. And she wrote a book called The ISIS Paper. And one of the things that she said in the ISIS Paper is that the only problem that African people have is white racist power. And she basically said there's 9 levels of human activity that we all associate in, right? One of them being economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, war, and sex. Can you agree that we all have those similarities and we all make contact in those areas?
Oh, yes, I do.
And all those areas are essentially controlled by white people. So basically, white people, in a nutshell, control every aspect of our life as African people. You know, even down to our entertainment. Like, when I was growing up, hip-hop wasn't the way it is now. Hip-hop was more Afrocentric, fight the power. You know, it was more black. When Europeans deemed that to be a problem, that's when they start pushing the music that they have now in our community. I grew up on Bill Cosby. I can't find a show like Bill Cosby now on television. And that's because the system of racism and white supremacy says that whenever Negroes are starting to do good for themselves, we got to throw a stick in the middle of their bike tire and slow them down. Because the only problem that we have as African people is white racism and white power and white domination. Whether they're Dominican, or not Dominican, Republican or Democrat. That's the only problem that we have. And I've traveled the world, and I can tell you that throughout the world, it's the same system. It's the same, even in Africa, it's the same system. White people control the economical system, and they control the puppet presidents that they put in office to keep the poverty going. Yeah.
Well, I agree.
Yeah.
But, you know, they have the money, and that's just the way we still have a good way to go when it comes down to economic, and I think we're doing better. You know, like I tell my son, if every generation with us get better, we'll be better. But man, these kids we got coming up now, they're actually going backwards.
And you know what? In psychology and sociology, they teach you that in order to understand a problem, right, you don't focus on who suffers from the problem. You focus on who benefits from the problem. So one of the problems that we have is that we're always saying black on black violence. Look at the kids, their pants sagging. Look at the kids dropping out of school. Don't look at them because they're suffering from that problem. Look at who's benefiting from it. At the end of the day, it's white people. Mass incarceration, miseducation. They create the problems. They create the problems to keep us stifled as a people. But we don't understand that. We don't understand these people are really, excuse my language, elder, fucking us up on purpose. Through the television, through the music, through the drugs, any way possible they can destroy us, they're destroying us. You know, so until we understand racism, white supremacy, how it works, what it is, and the psychology that comes behind it, we'll never understand anything as a people.
Well, it's not something you have to understand because we know it. You know, I'm from Tallahassee, and when I moved down here in South Florida, I said, wow, I mean, it's a big difference. But I know what you're saying about that, and you know, we just have to continue to do our best, pray and work, and show our kids a good work ethic, and help them with their attitude. That's what's hurting them now.
And also to do for self, marry black, right? Spend black, support black, any way possible. I'm not trying to, because people, when I say that, they say you spreading hate. I say I'm spreading love amongst my people. That's what I say. It ain't hate, it's love for my people.
I'm all for that too, marry black and attend black churches, you know, if you want to go a little bit deeper, because why would you go to a church that the oppressor is in charge running? So,
and let me just ask you one question before you go, elder. This is how deep we socialize as a people. I was having a conversation because I'm not religious myself, right, at all. But I was having a conversation with a Christian gentleman, and I said, have you noticed that ma'am, I'm sorry. Ma'am, can I talk to you for a second? She ain't. Can I talk to you for a second? But they get back to my question. They say, have you noticed that white people will not go to a black church in numbers? They won't listen to a black pastor. They won't. So, but we sit here and say, we got the same religion, we got the same this, we got the same that, but they won't even go listen to what a black preacher has to say. It's the same Bible. So for me, that falls in the line of racism and white supremacy. Y'all don't even care what Negroes got to say about Jesus. So, you know.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to comment on that. I don't want to hit them below the belt on that, but I agree with you 100% on that.
You don't have to comment on that. But I thank you for your time, elder. I appreciate you so much, man. Enjoy your MLK Day, man. All right?